Welcome back to Bike Culture Hub, the place where we dive deep into the world of motorcycles and cars, bringing you honest, in-depth reviews and explanations of some of the most iconic rides out there. Today, we're taking a close look at a bike that balances timeless design with modern performance, the 2025 Honda Shadow ACE 1100. Whether you're a cruiser enthusiast or new to the world of motorcycles, this one's bound to capture your attention. Stick around as we break down everything from its powerful V-twin engine to its classic cruiser styling and ride comfort. Let's get started. The 2025 Honda Shadow ACE 1100 is a motorcycle that doesn't just ride the line between nostalgia and modern performance, it blurs it entirely, creating a timeless machine that appeals as much to your heart as it does to your throttle hand. In a market where cruisers are becoming increasingly flashy or overly futuristic, Honda has doubled down on what made the Shadow name iconic in the first place: clean lines, soul-satisfying torque, and a design language that whispers vintage Americana with a distinctly Japanese sense of refinement. At the center of the 2025 Shadow ACE 1100 lies an air-cooled, 1,099 cubic centimeters V-twin engine that embodies Honda's mastery of engineering, reliability, and smooth power delivery. This V-twin isn't trying to break land speed records or melt tires at the drag strip. Instead, it's tuned for real-world riding, broad torque that kicks in low and rolls on in a steady wave. With about 63 horsepower and a generous 78 Nm of torque peaking at around 3,000 RPM, this bike gives you all the push you need for highway overtakes, laid-back cruising, and even two-up touring without breaking a sweat. That wide, easygoing torque band also makes the Shadow ACE a forgiving ride, especially for those transitioning into the leader-class cruiser segment. Fuel injection ensures smooth throttle response and reliable cold starts, a must-have for modern riders who expect seamless operation regardless of weather. It also contributes to respectable fuel economy, around 45 miles per gallon, depending on how heavy your wrist gets. The 5-speed transmission slots cleanly into gear with that mechanical assurance that's become a Honda trademark. Paired with a shaft final drive, yes, a shaft drive, the Shadow ACE 1100 is about as low maintenance as a cruiser can get. That setup translates to fewer moving parts exposed to the elements, less time spent on upkeep, and more miles spent with the wind in your face. Ride comfort is another high point. Honda has designed the frame and suspension setup with long-distance capability in mind. The double cradle steel frame is rigid where it needs to be and tuned to flex just enough to absorb road chatter. Up front, you get 41 mm conventional forks with 5.1 inches of travel, and out back, dual shocks with adjustable preload give you about 3.9 inches. It's not sport bike stiff, but that's not the mission here. Instead, the Shadow ACE floats over rough patches and keeps the rider planted with a subtle, damped ride that never feels mushy. One of the bike's standout characteristics is its low-slung ergonomics. A seat height of just 27.4 inches makes it incredibly approachable, especially for riders who want to flat-foot it at stoplights. The rider triangle is classic cruiser: feet forward, hands comfortably positioned thanks to swept-back handlebars, and a seat that cups you like a lounge chair. For taller riders, the stretch might feel a little more pronounced, but overall, this bike nails the cruiser formula with geometry that promotes relaxation without sacrificing control. When it comes to aesthetics, the 2025 Shadow ACE 1100 is a masterclass in balance. Honda has refreshed the silhouette to give it a stronger visual identity while retaining its retro roots. The tank shape is teardrop perfection, flanked by wide fenders and punctuated by chrome accents that gleam without becoming gaudy. LED lighting front and rear gives the bike a modern touch, but the round headlamp and retro taillight design keep it visually anchored in the classic cruiser era. Available colorways include vintage pearl white, midnight blue metallic, and a limited edition candy red with gold pinstriping that nods to the original American Classic Edition heritage. Honda has also leaned into authenticity with the ACE branding. Unlike previous iterations that leaned more toward retro aesthetics, the 2025 model lives and breathes it. The spoke wheels, now 17 inches up front and 15 in the rear, accentuate the bike stance and are shod with chunky tires that offer both grip and a nostalgic tread pattern. The tank badges are three-dimensional, chrome-plated works of art that harken back to vintage Honda cruisers of the 90s and early 2000s. Technology-wise, the Shadow ACE keeps things intentionally simple. You're not getting ride modes or a digital dash. What you do get is a minimalist LCD inset within a classic analog speedometer, giving you essential information like trip meter, odometer, fuel level, and gear position. There's also a USB-C charging port discreetly mounted beneath the seat for modern connectivity needs. ABS comes standard, and braking is handled by a 296mm single disc up front and a 276mm disc in the rear, both with twin-piston calipers. Stopping power is smooth and predictable, not aggressive, but in line with the bike's overall character. Where the 2025 Shadow ACE 1100 really shines is in the intangible qualities: the way it sounds, the way it feels, the way people look at it when you roll through town. The exhaust note is pure V-twin rumble with just enough bark to let you know it's alive, yet subdued enough to cruise through neighborhoods without drawing complaints. Honda's reworked the exhaust for this model year, with longer pipes and new baffling that enhance the bass without adding any harshness. It's music for the open road. Riders looking for touring potential will find plenty to love here too. Honda offers a range of factory accessories including a windscreen, leather saddlebags, and even a passenger backrest, all designed to blend seamlessly with the bike's visual language. The Shadow ACE 1100 isn't trying to be a Goldwing, but it's perfectly capable of munching miles all weekend long. With a 4.9-gallon fuel tank, you're looking at over 200 miles between fuel stops, more than enough to lose yourself for a few hours on winding country roads. In terms of competition, the ACE 1100 lands in an interesting sweet spot. It's more approachable than something like the Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic and less expensive than bikes like the Indian Chief. Yet it offers more character and road presence than smaller cruisers like the Vulcan S or Yamaha Bolt. It carves out a niche for itself by refusing to chase trends and instead perfecting the formula that made cruisers so beloved in the first place. That leads us to the price, which is another strong point in the ACE 1100's favor. With a starting MSRP of $10,999, it undercuts many of its American competitors while offering the same visceral satisfaction and long-haul comfort. Honda's build quality and reputation for reliability add even more value to the package. This is a bike you can ride hard, maintain easily, and pass down in 10 years still looking and running like new. And that's really the magic of the 2025 Honda Shadow ACE 1100. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't try to be something it's not. Instead, it's a cruiser that stays true to its roots while quietly refining every detail. From the supple throttle response to the deep burble of the exhaust, from the laid-back geometry to the low-maintenance shaft drive, everything about this bike is designed to deliver satisfaction mile after mile. Whether you're new to cruisers or a longtime Shadow fan, the ACE 1100 offers a pure, undiluted riding experience that's getting harder and harder to find. In a world of ever-complex tech and aggressive marketing, the Shadow ACE stands as a reminder of what motorcycling used to be and still can be. It's not about being the fastest or the flashiest. It's about riding for the sake of riding. About taking the long way home. About knowing your machine inside and out. With the 2025 Shadow ACE 1100, Honda hasn't reinvented the cruiser. They've simply perfected it. And that's a wrap on our review of the 2025 Honda Shadow ACE 1100. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Bike Culture Hub for more in-depth reviews and all things motorcycles. Catch you in the next one.